we have Wale Tejumade, convener, Lofty Heights Conference. He's with us in the studio today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, so.
It's so nice to have you.
It's so great to be back here.
Yeah, so tell us, after 10 years, you know, what else is new? What's 2026 edition? You know, what's that going to be about?
Interesting. You know, that's actually when we were planning for the 10th edition, that's the 10th year edition, the question you just asked right now was one of the things very, you know, topmost on our heart. Okay, so what is the next thing? Should we pivot? What else do we need to do? This been successful by any stretch of imagination? Do we need to change anything, you know, and all of that? But at the same time, there is no need fixing something that is not broken. If the wheel is not broken, there is no need fixing it. The conference, you know, on this very large scale, first held the major editions October, I think sometimes in October or so of 2016. Yeah, 2016. That was at Terra Culture, you know, Lagos. And these were days before Japa, before people began to travel out of the country, you know, for economic reasons and all of that. And it's done so well for itself, you know, and for the attendees. I travel a lot. I don't live in Nigeria, so I have to always come around here, you know, every January, just for this purpose. All right, yeah. So I meet people who end up telling me they attended a particular edition of the conference, you know, and I did this, I did this, I did that for them. For this particular edition, the reason why we, you know, settled for the theme Unbroken is also because running this on this scale for the past 10 years has also not been so easy. So we've been unbroken ourselves. You get what I'm saying right now? So we're providing the opportunities, you know, for some of the speakers that we have. All right, who've also had to face very daunting, breaking challenges in the course of their journey or their trajectory in life. And they've been able to surmount all of those, all right, to come share with the people.
Right, there's a reason for everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, being done. And, you know, 10 years on,
yeah,
you're doing this. You know, what was the inspiration?
It's perhaps, you know, if I can help you put it better, Joke, why did you start in the first place?
Interesting question. Well, I mean, for the past, let me backtrack a little bit to also say thank you to, you know, Chairman Mr. John Momo, all right, because for the past 10 years, Channels has been behind us. I think the only year I didn't come here in the past 10 years was perhaps last year. I'm a man of God. I'm a pastor. Everything that I do is driven, you know, by the Spirit of the Lord. In 2016, again, like I said, right, the conference has been, even before 2016, but not pronounced. It became pronounced sometimes in 2016. And what was the inspiration or the motive? The Lord spoke to me and said, gather young professionals, you know, in a room, and then gather Christians who are thriving in their own fields and let them pour into them. The conference is not a spiritual gathering, as it were. It's inspirational and motivational. The intention is to have, you know, someone who's already thriving in their own path or journey in life come share, you know, with someone who is about to start their own journey on how the journey has been for them. More like a mentor-mentee gathering, if I may put it that way. All right, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, you'd see people attend the conference, and some years down the line, they will be telling you, oh, I took this course after I attended the conference. Oh, I heard this person talked about this, and because of that, I went ahead and I started this business. Or I was able to do this. You can see them take, practical steps, to bettering their lives as a result of attendance, of the conference. So for me, what the Lord told me to do is exactly what we're doing. Just gather people together and bring those who've already walked the path. All right, let them share with those who are about to start their own journey. And let them have the opportunity to share both the wins and the losses with them.
And how loftily has the heights been?
It's been incredible, with all sense of modesty. Again, like I said, in the past 10 years, sustaining this long, I'm not trying to give kudos to myself or my team, right? But I think that my team, I think they've tried. Take for example, like I said, I don't live here. I'm based in Canada. That's why I've been living there now for over 10 years, right? And I have just about the core team of this conference, the brains behind. There are less than 10 people who've been running it for the past, 10 years, putting their all and all of that. And then sometimes I get to travel, or even on social media, right? I would see people send me a DM, especially in seasons like this, when we're planning for the next edition. So, I attended 2022 edition. I attended 2018 edition. You add this person, you have that person. These were the things, that edition did for me, and all of that. So it's been quite very lofty. If not, we perhaps would have ditched it.
Yeah.
And because, again, this wasn't a man's idea, from the get-go. It's not also, because, okay, let me be vulnerable here. At some point, I wanted to take a pause, especially after COVID. But I didn't have a release from the Lord. At my level, you don't do things because you just feel like doing it. You do what God would have you do. Whether it is pleasant or it is not pleasant, the Lord has a reason for that. As a matter of fact, just yesterday or this morning, I was still talking to someone, and I was saying, okay, after this 10th edition, I think we'll look for a way to pivot things. Say, but we're going to flow with whatever direction the Lord is going to be leading us on. Are you getting what I'm saying? So if it were left to myself, based off, because the conference is self-funded, and it's not chicken change, because it's free, all right? So nobody's paying a cent to attend. And for the past 10 years, nobody would say they ever paid 1 cent before they gained access, into any of those rooms. So if I think about the logistics, the planning, the cost implication, it's not anything any human mind, would say they want to. It's not sustainable, humanly speaking. But because it is God's idea, and the Lord himself is backing it up and, transforming the lives of the people, we are riding on.
Right, and who are the expected speakers
for this edition?
For this edition, and what are the expertise and ideas they're bringing forth?
So one of the things that we do is the theme for the year in question determines the kind of guests, speakers that come on board. And it's the same thing we've done this year. You have Grace Ofure. She's into real estate. She's an entrepreneur. She's a woman who's been there and back and there and back and there and back, multiple times, still thriving. You have Philip Olubake, who's a pastor, all right, who has a very interesting story in respect to his background, and all of that. And despite all of that, he's thriving, all right, in his field. You have Shola. Shola is a very, what do I use now? A young man who has done so well for himself, despite and in spite of the challenges, that he has had to encounter in the course of his journey. You have Inyaboyeji. He's a young, tech guy, someone like that. People like this have stories. They have. The question is not about even that, that people are not thriving. It is that many of these people who are thriving where they are thriving, they do not even have the opportunity of, unearthing themselves or their processes, their journeys onto others. So the beauty of the conference is that you see someone like me, whose story you read online, he got X and Y $1 million funding and all of that, and you'll be thinking in your head, how was he able to do that? So you have someone like him speak to you directly, tell you his journey, both the wins, and the losses, and I think that is where the inspiration usually comes from. So that way, success is no longer afar off. It's not something, that is too far away to see.
It's not mystic.
Yeah, it's not mystic. God bless you for that word. It's not mystic. So it's totally, demystified, if I may use that word, right? Broken down. And then
Tangible is reachable.
God bless you, sir. So you can literally meet these people and see them, all right? And then you can have them, all right? You can hear. It's not someone telling their stories, for them. It's themselves telling you their stories, all right? And you have the opportunity, to also engage in them. That's the beauty of the conference for me.
Right. So, and have you ever had, testimonies from
Jesus.
Outside of the fact that you say, I attended the conference in so year, but you have testimonies of, because I attended this conference, this happened and I've become this.
I was in the green room over there and I was speaking to a prodigy. His name is Philip. Philip is one of the big guys in real estate in Lagos here, today. Philip cut his teeth and broke into real estate, now sit on a multi-dollar investment through Lofty Heights Conference. As a matter of fact, last year's edition, the videos are there online. If you go on YouTube, Lofty Heights Christian Center, you would see that. All right, he shared his story publicly. As a matter of fact, for this year's edition, he was supposed to be one of the speakers, but it was to embark on a major trip out of the country. Was the reason why I had to drop him and then have somebody else come on board. So it's not it's beyond just you meeting me and then just saying, Apostle, thank you so very much for putting that conference together. It really inspired me. No. I've met people with tangible proofs. Tangible proofs. When Philip came for the first edition, he just finished from Lagos State University last year. He was at a point in life where he was trying to figure out life. I think he attended, according to him, maybe 2017 or 2018 edition. So this time around for this year, you would have some of these undergraduates, some of them graduate already, come around, who do not have clarity of thought and perhaps the soundness of mind to knowing what the next 2 years or 3 years, hold in stock for them. So you then get to be in a room where you're being inspired, and like you said, very tangibly. All right, it's not a success that is afar off. It's something within reach for you. And there will be something in you telling you if this person can truly, except the story the person is going to tell is going to be faulty, or it's going to be lies, which is not the case.
Well, now that you have titillated the people, question.
Yeah.
Who, what, where, when, why, how of this conference? Where is it happening? When is it happening? How do people apply to attend?
So I've registered, right? This edition holds this coming Saturday, that's 17th of January, here in Lagos at 13 Okilin. That's actually KICC Prayer Dome, just by Ken Village, Mende, Maryland. All right, to register, again, like I said, attendance at the conference has always been free. It's one of the things that people also, stress me about. Why are you making it free, and all of that. But again, you flow by what the Lord would have you do. It's not a money-making venture for me. If that were the case, I believe that I would have parked it, a very long time ago. All right, so to register for the conference, you can easily visit any of our social media handles at Lofty Heights NG. All right, or sign on via the website loftyheightsglobal.org/LHC Nigeria. Attendance is free.
The website is on the screen right now?
Yes, yes, that's the website address there, yeah. loftyheightsglobal.org/LHC Nigeria, yeah.
Perhaps, we were talking about poverty the other time.
Yeah.
And perhaps, we say that it's not just government. Different people need to. Perhaps it is. If by the stories you've told, and people have had breakthroughs because of this, then perhaps this is one of the things.
On that site, on that website, there are stories of people there who've made tangible progresses in life, just as a result of the attendance of the conference. Because of my exposure by way of, international exposures, I should say, you would realize that Nigeria is very deficit when it comes to knowledge sharing. That actually is the very basics, of the poverty you're talking about. You have people who are driven, people who are very zealous, people who are very enthusiastic. They just don't know what to do. Yeah. And I was once there too. Thank God for people like, Fela Dutoye, and the rest of them. You get what I'm saying? So someone may be watching me right now, even as I'm here in this studio. A student, part 3, part 4, a graduate who doesn't have a job, or someone who is working somewhere who is not finding fulfillment in what they're doing. There is such a dearth of knowledge in this part of the world. And that's one of the things, this conference is addressing. And more so, because it is even free. So what holds you back from the desire to invest in 3 hours, 4 hours of your day next week Saturday? I'm very persuaded beyond any reasonable doubt. You cannot attend that conference, all right, and then live the same way. It's not possible. Okay. So there will be something that's going to change. Because if the thinking of a man changes, the way he thinks would also change. And the result of his life will produce it.
Okay. So it's January
17th. Saturday, January 17th.
Saturday, January 17th.
2026.
Time?
8 a.m.
From 8 a.m.
Yeah, from 8 a.m. to about 3 p.m.
4 p.m. thereabout.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 a.m. registration begins. Conferences start at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those who want to register, they go to
loftyheightsglobal.org /LHC Nigeria, or on Instagram, Wale Tejumade on Instagram, or at Lofty Heights NG on Instagram. Yeah. The links are all there everywhere. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure. And thank you, channels, for this that you do with us every year. I'm grateful.
Yeah.